Trump is a dickhead. Trump is a fucking dumb cunt. Looks like the situation in the Middle East is flaring up again. There's missiles flying between Israel and Iran. And Trump is just sitting there, just hoping it goes away. He's talking about the reflecting pool and rigged elections in California. He's just kind of burying his head in the sand, doesn't know what to do. He's a stupid idiot. I mean, it looks as though the market has been reacting to... I've been looking at it a little bit on the weekend and looking at my... sort of catching up with my trades, analysing my trades. Because I went for a skate on Friday night. Basically, for me, it's currently... because I'm in Australia. I'm now trading the London session, or waiting for the London session, but it's 1700 now. And when it's the US session, it's 23:30. So I traded a little bit of the London session on Friday afternoon. And I usually just go for a skate in the evening on Friday. And so I ended up staying for a long time because I am breaking in a new pair of skates. They're so good, but they're stiff. And until you break them in, they usually hurt a little bit. So I ended up trying to skate for as long as I could, just to start breaking them in and feeling how they perform. And I ended up getting home late, like midnight, because it closes at 11 p.m. But I ended up getting home at midnight, so I didn't really look at the US session. I just kind of got ready for bed and just went to bed, because I had a scrappy week last week and I just wanted it to be over. However, the thing that I was kind of expecting since the week before last week, a big sell-off, ended up happening. The Nasdaq sold off a lot. It's like 1,500 points. It's unbelievable. I just plowed through last week. I didn't, through last week's low, I noticed that something happened here in the open. So big bear bar, pullback, and then a follow through of that bear bar, and then it just kept selling off all day. But what I noticed is that this pullback happened exactly at a measured move target that I looked at. I can't remember what I was looking. Oh yeah. So if this is the all-time high up here, and this is the final sort of higher low that the market made. And if I measured that range, that pullback began precisely at the measured move target. So bears selling below this low ended up getting a 1-to-1 right there, and they started taking profit at a 1-to-1. However, the market was so bearish it kept selling off, but there was definitely some profit taking there. And it happened on the 15-minute chart, you can see it. Right there, at the measured move target. It's unbelievable. It is believable because it's rational to take profit at the 1-to-1, unless you think it's going to keep selling off, but you should probably take some profit if you're swing trading like that. This range, so the final higher low, and then these low, I don't know if I'm looking at that correctly. That's looking at it on a 60-minute chart. So let's have a look. Yeah, it's kind of like, maybe and that low got broken. Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe I'm just seeing what I want to see. Not sure if that's important. It was a huge sell-off anyway. So then it got 3 times the measured move, and that's where it started pulling back. So maybe it is an important range measurement. I don't know. And the DAX, what I did notice in the DAX, if you look at the DAX didn't have any of that. I mean, it sold off later. However, in the actual session, this is the 30-minute chart. Wait a sec. So the DAX, yeah, so it opened on this bar here. That was the low of the day, and it just basically fell. It went up, it came down, and it closed a small bear bar during the regular trading hours. And that's the RTH chart here. So the RTH chart in the DAX basically looks range bound, so it's just opened there, made a low, gone up, and just closed down there. But in the chart that includes the outside hours, the US session and so on, it actually just kept selling off really a lot. So the consequence of that is that this market is now opening with a significant gap down. So the close was at 772 and it's 434. So it's a huge gap down in the DAX of over 1%. 1.3% down, 1.4%, 1.5% basically. 360 points. Yeah, so it's a big gap down. Looks like I've been disconnected from my broker. I'm just going to pause the video and log in, just so I don't expose any information. Alright, that's my balance now. I actually took a small trade in gold this morning. I took a little short, basically a low too short, up here. It was a low too short on the 5-minute chart. So, market opened. I'm going to get rid of this. It went up. It went down. Came pulled back. A low one short there. And then a low too short there. But I took it on the 2-minute chart right there. And took profits somewhere down here. I think it's 4,317. A little more than a 1-to-1, and that's all I did. Because my spread is not very good in gold. Okay, so a rally of the open here. The first opening, 5 minutes. A breakout attempt above a swing high. I'm not in any great rush to do anything so far. because it's Monday morning in Europe and the day hasn't even started in America, so there's no need to rush into things and try to make all your money straight away. It's a big week ahead, long week ahead. I would just like to see the character of the market before I do anything. Frankfurt session. I've been sitting here for like half an hour. So I just created this small bull bar, but it's basically a very, very tight range of a handful of points, like 90, 100 point range, small range. So I just went down a little bit, went up, down, up. So a bit of confusion there. Trading range, tight trading range. Just trying to think about what this gap down means. Something's bearish. The situation in the Middle East is deteriorating, it seems, and the guy who started it all, Trump, he's just got his head buried in the sand. Doesn't seem to know what to do now. Just completely incompetent fool, Trump. A fat lard. He just decided that he's just going to start threatening people around the world and they're just going to do whatever he says. And when somebody showed him some teeth, the Iranians, he didn't plan for that contingency. Doesn't know what to do now. We've got the greatest military in the world. We've got the greatest, the best of the world. The best of, nobody's seen it like it in the world. Nobody's seen a military like ours in the world. Yeah, but you don't fucking cut a piece of bread with a hammer, you know. They may be the best in the world. They could well be the greatest thing the world has ever seen. I highly doubt that. There are other nations with equally powerful militaries. Not in the same way. Maybe they don't have aircraft carriers like America. But the Russians are pretty fucking capable. And they have more nuclear nukes than America. The Chinese have more airplanes than America. And they have more soldiers than America. They have more everything than America. And they've got hydrogen bombs that are bigger than anything the Russians or the Americans have. So what if you've got a powerful military? You can't use it to achieve every single objective that you have. It's not the appropriate tool for everything. Of course, he doesn't even consider any of that because he's too worried about the Epstein files. He's working. The reason it all seems so irrational, the fact that he started the war, I think, is because we all look at it and we go, this is totally irrational. This is so stupid. This is the dumbest war in history. But for him, he's not operating on that logic. He's operating on the logic that Netanyahu has dirt on him in the Epstein files. And he has to do what Netanyahu says in order to keep the hideous thing that he's done with Epstein and involving potentially children and everything. He wants to keep that hidden. That's what he's operating on. That's why it all seems so irrational. He just has to do what Netanyahu says. Because the Israeli agent Epstein has got dirt on him and given it to the Israelis probably. I think that's what's going on. That's why it all seems so irrational. It's because Trump is thinking about something completely different to the actual sort of operational side of what's going on here with the military, and if they can actually achieve the goal that's been set out to them. Like, the military can bomb things and destroy things, right? If you need something destroyed and bombed, you call in the military. But you don't call them in when you need a nuclear deal. It's just so dumb. Yeah, Trump is very, very dumb, I think, as well as being corrupted and sort of immoral, and it's a really bad combination. Being both stupid and immoral. Yeah, he's a fucking idiot, that guy. Oh, he's a criminal. The thing is, like, they hit a school over there in Iran, and they're trying to bury it, they're trying to cover it up, and they don't want to talk about it and all this. And they're like, oh, it was an accident, it was an accident. So what if it was a fucking accident? It was still committed. It's still a war crime. And it's still, like, if you kill somebody in the street with your car and you're like, oh, it was an accident, I was looking at my phone, oh, you still go to jail for it. In fact, if you're distracted by your phone, you probably go to jail longer. Like, you still killed somebody. So he's a war criminal. He's a war criminal. I'm pretty sure. I wonder if these Americans who actually carried all this out, like the pilots or their commanders or whatever, they should probably all be prosecuted for war crimes. They're war criminals. These people, these Americans who were involved in that. They're so propagandized, I think, and stupid that they're not going to care. They're just going to be like, yeah, Iran, terrorists, yeah, the lunatics, Islamic lunatics. And that they just keep sort of like telling themselves that, and I don't think they're going to care that they blew up a bunch of children and turned them into mincemeat. It's all so hideous over there, what's happening in America. But anyway, I think the market's reacting to the change in dynamics over there in the Middle East, because now Iran is just hitting first. It doesn't care. Iran's not waiting anymore. They're just hitting Israel now. They're not waiting to get hit anymore. They're just. I think the gloves are off now with Iran. They're just gonna tear the place apart, man. If the Israelis don't stop their war in Lebanon. I think the Iranians probably think that we've tolerated enough of this shit. We've been hit twice during negotiations. False, like, peace negotiations. And we're just waiting to get hit every time. We're just going to start hitting first now. I think that's what the Iranians are doing. It doesn't seem like it's going to settle down anytime soon, I think. Because Trump can't control Netanyahu. Netanyahu is the boss of Trump. I think Netanyahu is basically the president of the United States government. He's got that government locked down through his Israeli lobbies. All the politicians are paid off. if you replace the word lobbying with bribery, which is exactly the same thing in principle, it's just that they use the fancy word lobbying in America to make it sound like it's sort of give it some authority. But it's the same thing in principle. It's just giving money to people in power to sort of work in your interests. So if you replace the word lobbying with bribery, which is what it is, and you look at America, America will be the most corrupt country on earth. Everyone over there is bought off. All the politicians are bought off by Israel. I think Israel just controls America. I thought for a second it's going to break out here, because this bar looked extremely bullish at one point. This bar here, bar 3. I was getting ready to think about buying. Well, I think I'm going to reduce my size to a quarter, whatever I do, because I'm not sure what to make of this huge gap down, how to interpret that. Like, it's really bearish, but it also means that it's trading very, very far below the moving average. I don't have the moving average because it just sort of doesn't help me, it confuses me. But I am aware that, for example, in a 60-minute time frame, if I put the indicator moving average, and I say put a 20 period moving average, it's trading very far below the average. And when it does that, it wants to pull back to the average. Same as when it's going up. So it's very bearish, but it may need to pull back. And when you're intraday trading, I don't think you really need to pay, like, you need to pay attention to the overall trend, of course, but I'm scalping the 2-minute chart, so it doesn't matter to me that the weekly bar last week closed a big bear bar. If there's a long scalp, I'll scalp long. It is breaking out now. 15-minute bar closed a weak looking bull bar there on the first bar, with a big tail on top. I mean, it's not that weak, it's sort of stronger than moderate. It's actually fairly strong. I mean, I don't know how to characterize it. It's closing above the 50% point, so it's decently strong. The range is reasonably big. It's like 60, 70 points or something. Yeah, 75 points. Okay. So this is confusing to me now. Bull bar, pullback, and then an attempt to go higher, and that falls back in the range. And now then another attempt to go higher. So Tom Hugart's doing? Typing. He's probably replying to some hateful comment that he gets all the time.
35, it went 36.6.
Hmm. Dear. I don't really know what I'm expecting. I'm expecting another bull bar now after this one, which is an outside up bar. It would be surprising to me if this bar closed bearish. It's a breakout above the high of the day. Stop entry longs above the high of the day are doing okay. The first 20 minutes is bullish. Closes a very, very decent looking bull bar. Got the birds singing for me. Japan is up 1.25% or 780 points. The Nikkei. Sometimes this sentiment from Asia seems to carry on into the European session. Like like I noticed on Friday that Japan was bearish during the European session when I was looking at the chart, and then later on the bearishness carried over into the US session a lot, and everything sold off a lot. Oil is up on the news from the Middle East, it seems. Like 4% already. And the markets haven't even opened in America. Yeah. Yeah, this escalation just seems like it's possible that it will lead to another sort of strong sort of period of strong fighting over there, which is unfortunate for regular people over there. And I think it's primarily because of Trump's incompetence and sort of dim-wittedness. Just dim-witted. I think on his Truth Social, as the missiles were flying, he was saying something about the reflecting pool or some fucking idiot. That guy's the biggest scammer I think I've ever seen as a US president. literally everything he does, it turns out to be a dead-end scam. Doge scam. Nothing. Trump coin scam. Nothing. Just a whole lot of people who lost money on it. His Middle East visit just collected a bunch of money and scam, just dead end, nothing. He put them in a war. Fucking idiot. I think they're probably all realizing now that they made a mistake trusting him with anything, and I think a lot of them are now saying, no, you can't use our airspace to bomb Iran anymore. That's not allowed. Like Saudi Arabia and whatnot. Wish I bought it. It's rallying now quickly. That's right, I'll be patient. It's rallying in a very climactic fashion right now, because you can see the curve here. If I can draw it, you can see how it's sort of curving up. It's very climactic. It's not rallying in a sort of neat sort of a predictable bull channel where it just keeps pulling. It's really climactic now. It's breaking out of the bull channel. It's basically parabolic. Sometimes this can continue all day. I've seen that in the DAX. But I think majority of the time these parabolic things get sold into as people start taking profit on longs. But yeah, it does happen sometimes where DAX does something really shocking and just keeps going. Doesn't stop. Where every tiniest of pullbacks just gets bought again immediately. But you can see the parabola very easily. A classic example of what I mean when I say that parabolic things get sold into is gold. Oops. That's the daily chart of gold. And you can see this parabola here. And bulls use that as a gift. They're like, oh my god, I'm making so much money, I'm so lucky. Whoa, whoa, whoa. And they take profit. And then pulls back violently. But on the 2-minute chart, on the smaller time frame, I've seen the DAX on very rare occasions where it just does not stop. It just keeps breaking highs. Like when it's doing some kind of short squeeze. I mean, it could just go boom above the high of yesterday, like above the high of the beginning of the sell-off last week. Could do that. That's another 500 points up, but I've seen that happen. Okay, so bar 2 on the 20-minute chart looks very strong right now. It's expanding. It's an expansion. because it's sort of already the same size as bar 1. So that bar 1 is 95 points, and bar 2 is already, it's got 10 minutes remaining. So it's got 50% of its life left, and it's already 85 points. So it could end up here somewhere. It's really, really bullish. Yeah, see the 10-minute bar there expanding. If this one rallies up quickly now and closes up there, well, I think the market is currently always in long. It's just always in long right now. If you had to be in the market, the 15-minute bar expanding a lot now. It's always in long. If you have to be in this market, you would want to be long, I think. If you don't have to, you can always be flat. But I don't think you want to be short, because there's no short signal. Maybe you have some strategy that is selling in the top third of this trading range, maybe adding on to shorts as it moves higher, hoping that it comes back into the range. But there's nothing for the bears here now on this intraday chart. Nothing at all. So much so that I think seeing a bear bar, you could just buy it. Because the reversal is probably going to be minor, I'd imagine. Because on this chart there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bull bars and 1 bear bar. Anybody who bought that bear bar is making money. Or bought below it. Below prior bar low. I don't trade like that, but I think what I could have bought was I not ranting about Trump and whatnot. It's the first consecutive bar, which is this one here. So it's been bull bar, bear bar, bull bar, bear bar, bear bar, bull bar, bear bar, bull bar, bull bar. The first sign of consistent buying pressure right there. I guess I could have bought that. My risk would have been fairly reasonable.
Yes.
I'm going to take a swing position at the close of this bar. The 20-minute chart, because I have a sort of a strategy that I have been doing a bit of research into on the second 20-minute bar. It's closing in approximately 30 seconds. I'll probably be executing a trade on the close. I'm having a bread roll, which is a ciabatta, Italian bread. Now it's rolling up. I'm buying the DAX. I'm putting my stop loss right below it, below the signal bar. I'm trading in a quarter position size, and I'm risking a little less than 1%. My stop loss is 53 points. I'm confused about today's price action relative to the huge gap down, but right now it appears that the market's going higher. It's bull bar, bull bar. So if this is some kind of trap, I will be trapped. To me right now, even though there has been a pullback here, it seems like a mistake to look for shorts currently. You may find some kind of second entry short here, and it may work, but based on the direction from the open, it seems like a mistake to look for shorts. I think based on my scalping strategy, it would be a good idea to move my stop to break even now, because I have over 30 points in profit, and I don't want to give away more than 30 points if it starts to fall back in to the range here, down here. Big expansion now. I might take profit here since it's about a 1-to-1. And with this strategy here, I'm looking for a measured move. So that worked out for me. This strategy based on the 20-minute bar is something that I've been thinking about and looking at, and sometimes 3-4 days in a row, depending on the direction of bar 2. I don't know why, I don't really care why. If the second bar is bullish, I just buy it. If the second bar is bearish, I just sell it. And usually get a measured move, and sometimes more. I'm wondering if this, the target of this is a gap close or something completely extreme where it just goes up here. I don't know, but I'm still aware that it's a big gap down day, so it's something is bearish. But if I can scalp long, I will do it. I just won't get too greedy and hope for too much. So I think I'm up about 2% for today, considering my gold trade as well. So it's been a good start to the week for me. Yeah, about 2%. I'm trading a $30,000 account. I'm most comfortable in trading when I keep ticking up a little bit by a little bit, a little bit by a little bit. When I get into the mood of trying to catch huge swings and staying in positions for a long time, I get very stressed. I get really stressed, especially if I have a huge stop loss of like 150 points. I mean, it's a small position. I would never risk what I'm risking now and risk 150 points. Like something like this, I would never do that. But even if I'm in a small position and it's moving against me for like half an hour, I'm just like, why am I still in this? Why am I still in this? I'm just stressing, even if it's $1 a point or 50 cents a point. I don't, if I'm sitting in a position for like 40 minutes, I'm getting stressed. This sets me up for a bad week. I'm just hanging at the charts for hours and hours watching a position, and then I'm like, oh, I'll just go and rest a little bit. And I'm lying in bed thinking about the fucking position. And just, that style of trading is not for me. Scalping is for me. Think over the 2.5 years that I've been learning trading, the biggest thing for me has been to find out what style of trading suits me. I've tried everything. I've tried scalping, the 2-minute chart, the 1-minute chart, the 3-minute chart, the 5-minute chart. I've tried trading the 15-minute chart, the 30-minute chart, the 60-minute chart, the 4-hour chart, the 6-hour chart, the 2-hour chart, the daily chart. I've tried all of it. And my most comfortable feeling is scalping the 2-minute chart. And that is the style of trading. That is the only style of trading where I have been making significant gains. Everything else has been horrible for me. Just because sitting in a position for hours and hours makes me stressed and makes me make bad decisions, I think. I'll be in a position, for example, that I'm trying to swing a position, I buy above this high, and I put my stop loss below the low of the day. Something like this. Like this. And all of a sudden I'm risking over 150 points. I'm risking 170, 80 points. And this market will start turning against me. And I'm sitting in that position stressing and stressing and stressing. And sometimes it'll take half an hour or 2 hours. And then I'll finally get stopped out. I'm just thinking, why the fuck was I sitting in this position for 2 flippin' hours and the market's just going down? Why didn't I get out of that position and go short and make money instead of losing money? If I was was scalping the 2-minute chart, I would have realized a long time ago that this market's no longer going up. It's going down. Yeah. That's been my experience in trading. I think that's a huge, huge thing for me, figuring out what style of trading suits me. But I've just been experimenting a little bit with this 20-minute bar. And buying the second 20-minute bar if it's bullish, depending on the direction. And just taking a measured move and just being done with it. And sometimes it happens in a few minutes. I'm just out immediately. And sometimes it just goes up here. And I'm like, I should have stayed in it. But the majority of the time, when I get too greedy and expect too much, I get punished. For me, the best results have been when I'm not trading my account and trying to make big profits, but when I'm just ticking up. Might actually end the video now and actually go and have a cup of tea, have a little break, because I've actually been, it's 6 p.m. now and I've been at the charts for like 2 hours. I was watching the entire Frankfurt session here, not trading it, because my spread is 100% more than what it is in the regular trading hours in the London session. But even though it's 100% more, it's only 2 points. But right now it's 1 point. So I usually try to min-max the spread because I don't want to give my broker 100% more. Even though it doesn't really matter, it's only 2 points. If I'm right about a trade, it really doesn't matter. But something still irks me about paying them more than I have to. But anyway, I might just go have a break because I've been at the computer for 2 hours and I don't like looking at the screen for more than 2 hours anyway. Alright. I'll just show my trades for today. One of them is in gold anyway, but I'll just show them. That's them right there. One is in gold, variable spread, earlier today, and the other one is in the DAX. So that's my day. And I might come back and trade London a bit more when I have a break. But usually I'll have a break for like an hour. At least 50% of the time that I spent at the charts. Sometimes the same amount of time that I spent on the charts, just to unwind. 5 plus 2, 6. So that's my day there, 2%. And I'll definitely come back for the US.